After you log into Partners for Results, you will come to your landing page, which is the assessment list. Here you'll be able to scroll through a list of your assessments that are attached to your rosters. You can scroll through the assessments, or you can come up here to the assessment filter and enter the assessment name or form number. Once you have either filtered or scrolled to find the assessment that you would like to give, you are going to come to the Select Classes column. Here you will then click the blue down arrow button, and this will pull up the classes that are attached to that assessment. You may have more than one, then you go ahead and select Print Answer Sheets for the period that you are looking for. Click that blue printer icon button, and it will pull up your roster for that period. It starts off with all the students being selected. If you would like to only print a few, you can uncheck that box and select the students that you would like to give the assessment to. If you would like to give it to your whole class, just simply go ahead and click that box again, and it'll select all your students. Once you are ready to give the assessment and you have all the students checked that you needed, come over to the Select Entry method, and you're going to hit Generate Bubble Sheet. This will then pull up a PDF version of your assessment. Here at the top of the assessment is the student information box. It will have the assessment name, student name and ID, teacher, the assessment that you are giving for which period, assessment number, and then the page number as well. At the bottom is the barcode. Each barcode is specific to each student and assessment. That way, when the assessment is scanned in and graded, we attach the student's score to their name. When printing the assessments, if you please do File Print or come over here to the printer icon. Printing the assessment that way will ensure that you have the student information box and barcode in the right spaces. Please do not print the print preview. Once you have printed the assessment and you have given the assessment, you can come back to where we had printed the assessment, and you will be able to see the students that were printed for, how many at Partners for Results we received, and the overall percent correct for your class. On this page, you will also be able to select a report. If you click the report button, it will pull up a box and you can look at the student report without answers, student standards report, and the teacher report. When you select a report that you would like to look at, go ahead and click that Run button. For this one, this is the teacher report. You will have the list of your students, their ID, if we received the scan and if the scan was complete, the amount of points they earned, total percent, and if you scroll to the right, you will see all the questions that are on the assessment and the answers the students entered. If it is a teacher scored, it will show what the teacher entered for that specific question. If you come over to the magnifying glass, you can also pull up the student bubble sheet. If the teacher entered the scores using the online entry grid, you will not see the bubble sheet on the left-hand side here. However, if that assessment was scanned in, you would see the student's bubble sheet. On the right-hand side, you will be able to see the student's response and the amount of points that they earned for each question. Once you are done looking at the reports, you can close out of those windows. Another thing I would like to show you on this page is if we come back to that Print Answer Sheet button, click that, and come back to the Entry Method button. If you go ahead and click that Teacher Online Entry, you can use this page to enter in the scores for the students. There is an autofill. This will fill all the students for you. It will put the correct answer in, or it will put the highest point value in if it is a teacher scored question. You can then come into each cell, double click, and change the answer or enter in the student answer. Once you have entered all the scores in, you come over here and hit the Score and Close button. To get back to your assessment list, you're going to come over here and hit the assessment list. After you have also given an assessment on here, you will be able to have a quick view of what the scores were for the assessment. Again, you can see the assessment name, form number, the date it was created, the date it was last scored, how many printed, how many Partners for Results received, and the overall percentage. Next, I want to take you to the SBRC. So for the standards-based report card, you're going to come to the SBRC dropdown and click standards-based report card. This will then bring you to your landing page for the standards-based report card. The year is already selected for you, so you come over here to the grading period, and you can select whatever grading period you are entering your grades for. Since we are at the end of period 1, I'm going to click that, and this will pull up your classes that are attached to your rosters. When you are here, you're going to see the Select Class blue button. This button is very important and the first step that you need to take when entering scores and or viewing your standards-based report card. By clicking the Select Class button, this creates your standards-based report card. And it will also then, once you click on it, it will allow you to lock your standards-based report card when you are ready to turn in your final grades. If there is not a lock button, that means the Select Classes button has not been clicked, and it needs to be clicked before you can lock that section. When you hit that Select Class button, it will then pull up your roster. You will see your students. You're going to see their proficiency scores. And on these proficiency scores, you can go ahead and click into each cell. You will see the standard mark, the percent earned, the proficiency standard mark, and then here you will also be able to override. If you override, you can then also put in the comment, and it will then save the override date and who overrode that score. Underneath, you will see the standards that have been tested, and if you expand those, you will see the assessment those standards were assessed on. You can then see a breakdown of the score and then the standard mark as well. You can also, on this page, view grading period assessments. If you click that blue button, it will then pull up again your class roster, and you will be able to quickly see if a student has missed an assessment. If it is blank, that means that the assessment has not been given for that student. You can go ahead and click into there. Again, if the assessment was scanned into us, you would see the bubble sheet. Otherwise, you will be able to see their scoring on the right-hand side. Again, if that cell is blank, that means the assessment was not given to that student. Once you have looked at and made sure everything is looking okay, you can close that section out, and now that Lock Results button is there. When you have finalized and everything looks all right, you can go ahead and lock your assessment, and the lock will turn green. At this point, if the lock is green, any changes that are made will not be updated within the SBRC. So if another assessment has been given or scores have been entered, those will not show up on the standards-based report card unless that lock button is white. When you are ready to print your standards-based report card, you're going to come over here to Print SBRC. You are able to print in several different languages. If you print from here, you will get the SBRC for all students. If you would only like to print one student at a time or just a select few, you can click the drop down and you can select which students you would like to print the report card for. Again, if I just went over here and hit one of the languages, it would bring up a PDF of all your students. Once you have printed out your standards-based report card, you are able to then print them, or you can download them and send them to parents as you need. If at any time you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at Partners for Results. My email is meredith@partnersforresults.com. We're happy to help and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.